Joining us now is Sara Nelson, president of the Association of Flight Attendants. Sara, great to have you on. Your response to the announcement about potential furloughs.
Well, we always knew that this was coming. And so since March of last year, we put in place this program that's a payroll support program. It's actually the only true jobs program in all of coronavirus relief, and it's the best use of the public's money. So what it does is it keeps people in their jobs, getting their health care, their retirement payments, paying into Social Security, paying taxes, so that it helps the rest of the tax base and all the jobs in our states and cities that we need. It's the best program in coronavirus relief, and so we need it extended. We got the emergency relief in December and started to get people called back from furlough then. The unique thing about the airline industry is that people have to have safety qualifications, security clearance, and that takes time to do. And when you're trying to call people back, along with the regular training that has to happen, it takes a lot of time. So some of those people who now have been getting a paycheck as of December 1st because of the emergency relief package will not even be able to get back to work until that emergency relief ends. But as we know, everyone in Congress and Joe Biden said that relief package was just a down payment and more would have to come. So this next coronavirus relief should continue this package through the end of September, get us through this time where the airlines are losing more money in a deeper financial crisis than all of the crises in the 100 years of the airline industry combined before.
In terms of the next round of stimulus, Joe Biden and his administration negotiating with Republicans, from my understanding, aid for airlines is not included in either the Republicans or the Democrats' plan. Is that correct? And what would you like to see from lawmakers here?
So that's not correct. It is in the Democrats' plan for the coronavirus relief, and this is a Democratic plan. It was actually a union plan initially picked up by the Democrats and promoted because what it does is it puts workers first. It told the airlines exactly how they could spend the money. They can only spend it on pay and benefits of workers. They cannot cut hourly pay rates. They have to actually cap their executive compensation for 2 years after the relief ends and ban all stock buybacks and dividends and continue service to all the communities. So it's a true workers first package that was a Democratic plan to begin with, and it is in the Democratic plan to continue through September.
We obviously can't go back, but going forward, would you like to see airlines, in terms of just their business model, save a little bit more for a rainy day? Airlines have been making record profits. Why wasn't there more money to deal with a situation like this?
Well, let's be really clear. Even if airlines had done all the right things and not given back stock buybacks like the rest of the market, frankly, it would not have been enough to weather this storm. This has been extraordinary. For over a year, they've been down over 80% in revenue. And even though some of the demand has climbed back, in some cases almost to 50%, those ticket prices are so much lower that revenue is sticking at 80% down. So this is not something that you can weather the storm, but this is also something that we thought about. We always opposed those stock buybacks. You should be reinvesting in the employees, in the consumers, in the business for the long term. And stock buybacks are just a really bad plan for that. And there's a lot of pressure on companies to do that and to inflate that stock price instead of invest in the business. So that's why we baked into the plan a ban on stock buybacks and dividends so that we can focus on the business itself.
And just switching gears, today officially the mask mandates at the federal level take effect in transportation. What will this mean for flight attendants as they try to enforce mask mandates on flights? Do you think this might make their jobs a little bit easier?
So, we promoted a mask mandate last April and we got the airlines to respond within a week, but they didn't have any really great enforcement mechanisms in place. And so what happened? We had to deal with conflict on board. In fact, we had flight attendants who were assaulted because people were led to believe this was a political issue rather than a public health issue. Airlines started stepping up the enforcement and putting people on no-fly lists for not complying. That helped. But having that federal backing is what we have needed from the beginning. We have to be clear with everyone about what's expected. It's just like no smoking on board. If you smoke on board, there's going to be serious consequences. And the FAA administrator has made it very clear that if you're interfering with crew during this time, including not complying with their instruction to wear those masks, you are subject to as much as $35,000 in fine and imprisonment. And so having this backing from the federal government is huge for keeping my members safe and keeping everyone on the plane safe as we're trying to have as much of a controlled environment and limit the risk of the spread of coronavirus through air travel.
All right, Sara Nelson, president of the Association of Flight Attendants.